So I want to give you a few reasons not to paint on a white canvas and instead to paint on a stained canvas. Number one is color perception and value perception. So what I mean is if you look at this paint here in my brush, and if I paint it on a white canvas, it looks like this. If I paint it on a stained canvas, it looks like this. And if I paint it on a black canvas, it looks like this. Now you can see how different that color looks depending on what I painted on top of. And so therefore, if you want to get the most accurate, for instance, if I look at this color on white, I'm going to think it's a really dark color. If I look at the same color on black canvas, I'm going to get a perception that it's a much brighter color than it really is. But if I put it on a stained canvas, which is neutral, sort of right between black and white in terms of value, this will give you a much better sense of like where you are with your color in terms of how dark it is or how light it is. Because instead of having a black in this one extreme and white on the far other extreme, now you've got something in the middle that you can gauge it from. If you look at this vase, for instance, and if I put the vase in its natural environment like this, and then compare that to the same vase on a white canvas, you can see how much darker the vase is, especially the highlight. Compare the highlight, how it looks here on white compared to how it looks on the stained canvas. On the other hand, if I put the pot on a black canvas, as you see it here, and I'm looking at, like, let's say the handle looks like it's a much lighter color than it actually is. If I put it on the stained canvas, you can see how much darker than it looks on the black canvas. So depending on what you paint on top of, it radically changes how you perceive the color. Now, if you are going to stain your canvas, it needs to be a neutral color. You don't want to be painting it in a red or yellow or blue. You want it to be right in the middle of all the colors. So let's take a look at this color on this green background. And if I was to ask you what color that was, you might say it's just a dirty color. Maybe it's slightly shifted toward orange, but it's certainly not green. But then if I take that very same color and I put it on this red background, now it looks much more green than it did on the green background. So obviously the background will greatly affect how you see your color. And so that's why I recommend a stained background. So if we take that same color and put it on the stained background, now you can see that the color is actually a very dirty green, which is an accurate description of what this color is. So that's the importance of painting on a stained neutral background. And so you can make up your own paint. Just make sure you're using a foundation white and not just a regular old titanium white. So here's a formula that you can use using some readily available colors. We also make this stain so it's ready to use. It's already got the solvent in it and everything, so you just shake it up, squirt it out, and it makes a wonderful stain for any canvas. And we sell that at GenevaFineArt.com. But if that's not available where you live, or you'd rather just make up your own, again, you can follow this recipe, which will get you real close, and then you can just adjust it as you mix it. There's one other really great thing about painting on stained canvas, and this is actually a really big deal. But if you paint on black on top of a white canvas, you're going to have a hard time getting full coverage with one coat of paint. On the other hand, if you paint white on top of a black canvas, you would have the same problem. But if you paint on a stained canvas, which is sort of between black and white in terms of its value, then you can get full coverage with white and you can get full coverage with black. And that's really nice if you're painting, alla prima or in one layer of paint like I do. Because if I had to paint on white paint, it would drive me crazy that I couldn't get full coverage with one coat of black. So that's another real big deal and a reason to paint on a stained canvas. I do teach private classes, and if you're interested in more information about my private classes here in Austin or my Zoom classes, just email me at mark@drawmixpaint.com and I'll send you all the information on my classes. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.